the NBA is a different type of league from the one that I grew up to. It is a type of league now where coaches are not going to last. I mean, the days of the Greg Popoviches of the world and the Eric Spoelstras of the world, even the Steve Kerrs of the world, they are not going to last. Now, those guys are still there, and Popovich is obviously coming towards the end. I don't think he'll be coaching much longer personally, but you have a situation in which top notch coaches are being fired at the end of a season in which they are about to make the playoffs. And that happened again yesterday with the firing of Mike Malone, the coach of the Denver Nuggets, who has an all time record of 471 and 327 with Denver. He won an NBA championship 2 years ago, literally 2 years ago, in 2 years come June. And the team, when he was fired, was a 4 seed. Now they're a 5 seed as of today. And they could finish anywhere between the 4 and the 8, to be honest, because the 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all 47 and 32 or 46 and 33. Consider the fact that Timberwolves are 46 and 33 right now. The Clippers, Nuggets, Warriors, and Grizzlies are all 47 and 32. So, based on some tiebreakers, Denver is the 5 seed as of today. They are playing right now as I record this video, as are the Warriors and who else? And the Clippers play the Rockets tonight a little bit later. So they're everyone's pretty much playing right now. And with the except the Lakers won over the Lakers are 49 and 31. They won over the Mavericks. But the fact of the matter is you have a coach that's in the playoffs, a potential high seed 1 through 4, so home court advantage in the first round, and has won a championship 2 years ago, and you fire him. Why? Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Full Court Press Podcast, Rudy's Rant. We talk facts and feelings. Like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment. Let us know what your thoughts are on this video and this topic. I'm old school. This new school NBA, this player empowerment shit, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the player empowerment movement where, mind you, players have always had power. They've always had power, but they've never had this kind of insane level of power. This is a power move by players. I can't possibly imagine that the Denver Nuggets just decided, oh, well, we're going to fire Mike Malone and the GM Calvin Booth at the same time, although the reports are is that they also didn't coexist too well. You have a coach wants to win. Coach wants to do whatever he can to win right now with what he has right now. He has the best player in the world right now in Nikola Jokic. He has a great guard in Jamal Murray. He has a team that won a title 2 years ago and honestly lost players, which is partially why they fell off last year. And you fire the coach. It's perplexing. With 4 games left in the season, 3 games left in the season, a week out from the playoffs. Who does that? Who does that? I can only imagine, and I'm not spreading a rumor, but I can only imagine that for this to have happened, there had to have been conversation with a couple of the higher level players on the team. Nikola Jokic, um, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray. I cannot possibly imagine that this move got done without speaking to the best player in the world. The same way that LeBron gets preferential treatment, there's no way that you can sit here and tell me that this team did not speak with its best player, the best player in the world, before firing the coach a week and a half out from the playoffs. It's an absolute clusterfuck mess there. Massive distraction. Every day is going to be a question about Mike Malone. You can't avoid it. If they lose the next three, they're right now, what's their record? 47-32. If they lose their last three and they end up as the 8th seed, everyone's going to blame firing the coach. If they win all three, end up as a 4 seed or even a 3 seed potentially, everyone's going to say, oh, it was a brilliant move, and they're still going to ask the players about it. If they have a bad loss, they'll be asked about it. If they don't play well in the first round of the playoffs, questions will continue. And it's just a massive freaking distraction. Now, when I talk about player empowerment, power moves by players and getting coaches fired at this point, like they pay these guys so much money that obviously the value to the franchise is more towards the player than it is to the coach, with the exception, obviously, of a few places, because they've got coaches that have been there for a very long time. Mind you, Mike Malone had been at Denver for 10 years. Been there for 10 years. And so it's a little bit odd. This is a guy who took over a team that was not very good, because let's say he coached in Sacramento, didn't fare well there. Comes over to Denver, they go 33-49, and then 40-42. And from then on, they were 5 seed, 1 seed, 1 seed, 2 seed, 2 seed, 1 seed, 2 seed, 2 seed. I'm sorry, that's the division finish. I'm sorry, that's division finish, not seed. So they were a 5th place team in their division at 46-36. Then they won their division, second in the division, second, first, second, and they were second as of this year when he was unceremoniously released from his position. Career 44-36 in the playoffs. An NBA champion. A franchise that has somewhat of a culture, per se, that he helped develop, an attitude to him. I mean, the team that's celebrating the most right now that he was fired is probably Los Angeles Lakers, because he's been their daddy for the last few years. And there's still a possibility that those two teams could meet in the first round of the playoffs, with the Lakers as a 3 and the Nuggets as a 6, or the Lakers as a 4 and the Nuggets as a 5, or even the Nuggets as a 4 and the Lakers as a 5. All those possibilities actually still do exist. They're not likely, but they exist. They're not likely in terms of the Nuggets being a 4 to the Lakers being a 5, or a 3 to a 6, but they're all possibilities. And there's talk about, the fact that this happened. A reaction from Nikola Jokic.
Relentless perfection from the line. Look how concerned Jokic is. I mean, he can't help himself. He's just screaming at his teammates.
Now, I don't take much into that, but there are people that do. That's a player being a player and a guy being pissed. But then there's also other things that have gone around, that Mike Malone had made some statements that guys weren't watching film. If you're not watching film, you're not actually doing your job. So nobody watches film. And this was after a bad loss to the Blazers, that some of the players tuned him out after a bad loss to the Blazers. And this happened on March 21st, when they lost 128-109 to a depleted Trailblazers team. And he says that was embarrassing. He ripped his team's effort, citing Portland's 51 total points off offensive rebounds and turnovers in the game. That was embarrassing. That was a joke. Who are we kidding? 11 games to go, and that's the effort we put forth. I'm embarrassed by that game and our approach and how we played. 26 points on the offensive glass. Rebounding is effort. Rebounding is toughness. Rebounding is desire. And they just kicked our butts on the offensive glass. He also says, I don't know what our guys are thinking with 11 games to go. I challenge them to look at the standings, look at our remaining schedule. And if we continue to play the way we were playing, we will be in the play-in tournament. And that's a legitimate possibility. Right now, the Memphis Grizzlies and the Minnesota Timberwolves are in the play-in tournament, and they have this same record as the Denver Nuggets. Very simple. It's just the way it is. And I think every guy has got to look themselves in the mirror and start coming to each respective game with the proper mindset and have some pride. I didn't think we played with any pride tonight. He also says, I don't really care. He says, when asked whether or not he was worried about how his team would react to his candor, he said he doesn't care. I don't care. It's not my job to evaluate how they take things. My job is to be honest and sometimes brutally honest. And tonight it was a brutally honest message, and the guys that are full of shit won't hear it. I agree. They'll say coach is tripping. I agree. And the guys that maybe do really care, they're not going to go back and go back to what their minutes. They're not going to go back to what their minutes because nobody watches their minutes. Nobody watches film. So we'll have to show them the film. And I said, if someone disagrees with me, please speak up. And nobody said a word. So again, I'm not really concerned how they took that message. My thing is being honest with how they played. Just got blown out in LA. Come here against a team that's down 3, 4, 5 starters, and you mess around the game, and that's what happens. I've coached. I've never coached, obviously, at the NBA level. And I can only imagine how often players do tune out coaches and act like spoiled brat divas. It's not a surprise, but it is a surprise when an ownership makes a decision to terminate your coach with 4 games or 3 games left in a season with the playoffs a week and a half out. What does that say to your fans? Because if I'm a Denver Nuggets fan, I'm pissed off. If I'm a Denver Nuggets player, maybe I'm not. Maybe I didn't like Malone. I don't know. If I'm a fan, I'm sitting here saying I got to pay for playoff tickets. This team's going to get swept in the first round. This team, the Dallas Mavericks are on. They're going to be a 10 seed. They'll probably lose to the Kings in the first playing game and be done. And if by some miracle they win that game, they'll lose to the 7 or 8 seed and be done and not make the playoffs. I mean, these teams that are firing. That was Dallas Mavericks. The team that also Memphis fired. Dallas is the team that made the stupid trade, trading Luka Doncic. My correction, Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, and they've fallen off the map. Memphis fired their coach, and they're a 7 seed. It's this firing of coaches at the end of the season or late in the season is on winning teams doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't make sense. And I heard some former players saying, I think they had checked out. Okay, check out. I'm not firing my coach with 3 games left in the season. I got to understand who decided this, how they came to this decision. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the Denver Nuggets are not going to get out of the first round of the playoffs. I don't care who they play. They are not going to make it out of the first round of the playoffs, despite having the best player in the world. They're playing the Kings right now. They're up 7. Woohoo. Are they playing hard or are they playing the Kings? Very, very. It's kind of sad what's going on in the NBA. There's always been a player power move, but the player power now is so high that coaches don't last 5 years. And these coaches that are older coaches that are getting fired now are the last of a dying breed. It's a crazy league that you can have a team get to the Western Conference Finals and a year later be out of a job, a la Darvin Ham. You can be Adrian Griffin and be 30-13 and get fired mid-season. Adrian Griffin from the Milwaukee Bucks. This is insanity what they're doing to these coaches. You get hired. You get hired. There's two guarantees in the coaching business. You get hired to get fired. It's a matter of when. You let me know your thoughts in the comments about this firing. This is nuts. This is nuts. And if I'm a player, a real player, I'm not a fan of this. But I got to think that Nikola Jokic had to have approved this. Jamal Murray had to have known this was coming. Because if they didn't, and the ownership just did this on its own, now we got some things to talk about. Because if I'm Nikola Jokic and you fired my coach with 3 games left and you didn't talk to me about it, yeah, we're having a problem. I'm looking for another team. I don't want to be here anymore because you don't respect me enough to have a conversation with me. So, what do you think it is? You let me know your thoughts in the comments. This is Full Court Press Podcast Reviews Rant. Come on now.